South Africa's parliamentary probe into explosive allegations within the country's security structures has taken another turn as debate intensifies over whether a suspended intelligence watchdog should appear before lawmakers. At the center of the controversy is Imtiaz Fazil, the suspended Inspector General of Intelligence, whose potential testimony could play a crucial role in the ongoing parliamentary investigation. Members of Parliament serving on the ad hoc committee probing allegations made by KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi met this week to resolve several procedural issues related to the inquiry. The committee's work has become one of the most closely watched investigations in South Africa's political landscape, as it seeks to unpack allegations involving senior figures in the country's law enforcement and intelligence structures. During the meeting, lawmakers addressed several outstanding matters, including the rescheduling of appearances by Fani Masemola and Mkhwanazi, who are now expected to testify before the committee next week. Another key issue raised during the meeting involved the delayed response from Cyril Ramaphosa, who had previously been asked to clarify certain matters connected to the investigation. According to the committee, the president has requested additional time to provide his answers and is expected to respond by March 16th. However, some political parties have raised concerns that the delay could limit Parliament's ability to ask follow-up questions that may be critical to the investigation. Debate over intelligence watchdog's appearance. Much of the discussion during the meeting focused on whether Fazil should be allowed to testify before the committee. Fazil was suspended by President Ramaphosa in October, pending the outcome of an investigation by Parliament's Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence into his conduct. Despite the suspension, some lawmakers believe his testimony could provide valuable insight into the issues being examined by the ad hoc committee. Evidence leader Norman Arendse explained that attempts had previously been made to arrange a meeting with the Intelligence Oversight Committee to clarify whether Fazil could legally appear before the ad hoc committee. However, those discussions did not take place last year. According to Arendse, a review of the legislation suggested that there might not be a legal obstacle preventing Fazil from testifying, provided he consults with both the president and the minister responsible for intelligence. Malema, corruption can never be top secret. One of the most vocal supporters of Fazil appearing before the committee was Julius Malema, who argued that allegations of corruption should never be hidden behind claims of national security. Malema told the committee that its role as an ad hoc body gives it the authority to deal with complex and sensitive issues that may not fall neatly within the jurisdiction of other parliamentary committees. He pointed out that senior intelligence officials had already appeared before the committee without compromising classified information. Malema emphasized that questioning officials does not automatically mean exposing state secrets. Instead, he argued that experienced intelligence officials understand the limits of what can be discussed in public forums. The EFL leader made his position clear during the meeting. According to Malema, corruption cannot be classified as secret information. In his words, corruption should never be protected under the label of national security. He added that Fazil's willingness to appear before the committee suggests that he may have important information to share. Malema urged the committee to find a way to allow the suspended intelligence watchdog to testify. Committee seeks legal guidance. Following the debate, committee chairperson Saviet Leganye said the committee's legal team would now engage directly with Fazil to determine the next steps. Leganye explained that the suspended Inspector General is best positioned to understand the conditions of his suspension and whether he is able to testify before Parliament. The legal and evidence teams will therefore consult with him to establish when or if he could appear before the committee. Meanwhile, the committee has also confirmed that it is considering legal action against forensic investigator Paul O'Sullivan. This follows an incident during which O'Sullivan walked out of the ad hoc committee hearing. Although he later returned to continue his testimony, members of the committee have indicated that they are still exploring whether his actions may have violated the Powers, Privileges and Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act of 2004. Parliamentary and legal teams are currently collecting affidavits related to the incident as they evaluate whether a formal case should be opened. Next phase of the investigation. The committee's work will continue with further testimony scheduled in the coming days. On Tuesday, lawmakers are expected to hear evidence from Hilda Senthomule, the acting Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Detection and Divisional Commissioner for Detective and Forensic Services. Members of Parliament will also question Fadil Adams, who is set to return before the committee. In addition, the committee has decided that senior police officials, including National Commissioner Fanny Masemola and Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, will appear toward the end of the hearings, ensuring that lawmakers can first gather as much evidence as possible from other witnesses. A high-stakes investigation. As the parliamentary inquiry continues, pressure is mounting for transparency and accountability within South Africa's intelligence and law enforcement institutions. Whether or not the suspended Inspector General of Intelligence ultimately appears before the committee could prove to be a decisive moment in the investigation. For now, the committee's legal teams are working to determine the path forward, while political parties continue to debate the balance between national security secrecy and public accountability. The outcome of the investigation could have far-reaching implications for South Africa's oversight of intelligence structures and the fight against corruption within state institutions.